Okay, so here is the example that we did in class, and I'm just going to quickly walk through what I did in Excel. So here we have the three par frequencies for three different players, three different golfers. And what I want to do is determine what the descriptive, actually all of this is descriptive statistics for these three individual players are. So we have the mean, median, and mode. We also just want to quickly get the count, so the number of observations for each. And then we want to also determine what the 5-number summary is. So to do this, we're going to use functions in Excel. And so I'm just going to delete this because we don't want to see this yet. So the way that we walked through it in class, there's two ways to get functions. Actually, there's three ways to get functions, but I'm just going to focus on two to keep things simple. So to determine the mean for Terry, we can use a formula. And to get to formulas, we have to start by selecting the cell and then clicking or typing equals to let Excel know that we're going to be typing in a formula. And so if we start typing, and recall that mean and average are the same, and so Excel likes average as its function name, so we're going to use average. And I can just select average here. And now you can see these are parameters inside these parentheses here. And these are just things that Excel needs to know about what the details about the average that we're trying to find. And specifically, it needs to know what range of numbers does it need to look at to determine that. So we're going to go over to Terry. We're not going to select Terry, but we're going to select all the numbers below that. So if we click and drag all the way to the end of Terry's data set, and then we type in an end parentheses to end the function, to formally end the function, which is very important, and we hit return, we can see that we get the mean for Terry. To get the median, we do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do it the other way. So for the median, and we could have done this with the mean as well, let's click on this FX up here on the top. And you can see here that the FX brings up this formula builder. And if I click in the search box and I search for median, it will bring up, it actually has 3 hits for the search results, but these are all actually the same function. It's just they fall into different categories. So if I click that and I say insert function, I get a bunch of boxes here, sort of like a form. And what it wants to know is what fields do I want to use to calculate the median. Now, right now it's thinking that G3, so this is the third row, the column G is what it wants to use, but we don't actually want it to use G3. We want it to use all the values under Terry. So I'm going to just click and drag to select the values under Terry, and you can see it overwrote everything. And then I'm going to click done because I don't have any more numbers that I want to use. So I click done and you can see that it gets the median for us there. So when in doubt, you can use that, especially when the functions get kind of complicated and they have a lot of inputs. Sometimes that's an easier way to deal with it, but I'm going to close this out for now because I think sometimes it's faster just to use the equal sign to start building out a function. So for mode, I'm going to type equals, and I'm going to start typing mode. And you can see here there's other selections here. We actually just want mode by itself. And again, I'll select the data set here, close the parentheses, and hit return. Same thing with count, hit equals, start typing count. Now I can hit tab. Instead of clicking with the mouse, I can just hit tab and it will do the exact same thing as clicking the mouse. And here again, we'll select the values, close the parentheses, and hit return. Now, to get Davis and Maris's descriptive statistics, the mean, median, mode, and count, I can actually just select all of Terry's. So here I've selected all 4 calculations that we've done. And now you can see my cursor is a hand right now. And if I move it down a little bit, it turns into a crossbar, but it's a white crossbar. If I move it to the corner, it turns into a black crossbar, and that's what we want. We want the black crossbar, and when you get it to a black crossbar, you can click and then drag across all both of these Davis and Maris's, and make sure that they're selected. You can kind of see the color change a little bit there, and then let go, and you can see that it fills in that data automatically. So we're going to do the 5-number summary the same way. So we'll type in min here. We'll select the values, end parentheses. And now for Q1, we want to use a function called Quartile, and we want to use Quartile EXC. And again, we'll select our value here. Whoops, it shouldn't do that. Sorry, it should just be that one. So be careful when you do that. And I selected the values, and I hit return. Oh, sorry. Oh, I always forget this. I forgot to put the quartile. So I select. Let's start that one over actually. So for quartile, I'll hit equals quartile, and now I'll select my array. And because there's two parameters for this function, the first is the array, so what data am I actually trying to get the quartile for? But then I hit the comma, I actually have to pick which quartile I want to get the data for. So you can see it comes up with some options, so I can just click on one of the options, or I can just type 1 because I know this is the first quartile. I end the parentheses and I hit return. I can do the median exactly the same way that I've been doing all these others. And then quartile 3 is going to be the quartile, the same data range, but now we're going to type 3, end parentheses, and then max is, again, this data set, and that's our max. And the same as what we did in the first 4 calculations, I'm going to select these 5 calculations. I'm going to wait till my crossbar becomes solid. I'll click and I'll drag across the other 2 people, and I'll let go, and you can see that it automatically fills the data in there.